The Atlas Post. The beginning of the month arrives especially fast if you're needing rent assistance, or let's just say you're a little bit short on the rent. The eviction moratorium expired at the end of July and has been extended on a community-by-community basis. President Trump signed an executive order to help with rent relief, but there are some important details to pay attention to. See the link above and also in the video description to see the video. Today we're going to share options with you to get rent relief. And if you're watching or listening to this video, you either need renter's assistance or know someone that needs it. Please share this video with somebody it can help. And this idea about canceling rent has been growing and growing and growing. Here it has. Hundreds of thousands are behind on rent. Why won't politicians cancel it? The whole idea about rent relief is even before the pandemic occurred, there were a lot of people that were living paycheck to paycheck. And in fact, in LA County, more than 31% of the overall labor force has applied for state unemployment insurance since February, according to the California Policy Lab. So, they say it's a ticking time bomb. There's a lot more behind it because, some of the businesses have the PPP loan. They've had unemployment, but now it's been cut off. So there's a lot of things that are happening. And also that executive order that Trump signed, that people thought this was going to go on and on, that was just meant to be a Band-Aid to get Congress back into session so they can go ahead and vote on a stimulus. Unfortunately, I guess with the issue with the post office, they decided they needed to come back into Washington, D.C. to go ahead and get something passed so the ballots could get voted. Or actually the ballots could be sent out so they could get reelected into their office. But this idea about evictions and such a big deal, that's why we're talking about rent relief today. It's only mid-month or a little past mid-month in August, and September will be quickly approaching. But this is such a big issue that even companies like The Guardian, which is based out of the UK, is sitting there talking about the US is facing an eviction tsunami. We must cancel rent before it's too late. But here's one of the things that they mention on here at the top is Houston's rental aid fund was empty 90 minutes after it opened. In Chicago, 80,000 renters applied for 2,000 relief grants. So there's a huge need for it. Here in Los Angeles, they took $100 million that was intended for the CARES Act, and they're using that towards rental assistance. And this is to help 50,000 LA households. Okay, what is LA? Last I remember was a community of 10 million people. And they're going to be helping 50,000 LA households. Now, granted, okay, you got to start somewhere. You can't help everybody. But, boy, $100 million to only help 50,000 people, it doesn't go quite as long as you would think. So the city of LA has an emergency renters assistance program. If you were eligible, you should have already signed up for this because, as it said, the demand for rental assistance exceeds the available funds. So if you were lucky enough to already get an email about this, pay very special attention because they do talk about the program and the eligibility. So the 2019 HUD low income limits for LA or Los Angeles is 80% of AMI. So they have already put this in here. That's AMI is an area median income. And here's the nice part is, as you can see by looking at this, the more people you have in your household, the greater your AMI can be. Or in other words, the greater your total household income is greater, which is the nice part because as it goes up, or you have more people, it also goes up. So this is for the City of LA Emergency Renters Assistance Program. Now here's another one that's really kind of exciting for many people is 211. Yeah. 211 helps LA County, but 211 is not just LA. This one says LA. It shows up on my computer as Los Angeles because my computer happens to be in Los Angeles. So your 211 will go to your local community. So on the rent relief application program, I want to tell you some things that are really important on here. Application must be filled out by or on behalf of the person whose name is listed on the lease agreement, referred to as tenant. And there's only one application per household will be accepted. And here's what they most importantly need. And this, so be prepared. So the following documents will be needed or provided if the tenant is selected. So number one, proof of income for all household members. Remember this chart that we just showed you? That this was under the city of LA, and they had this chart, the 2019 HUD low income limits for LA. It's a sliding scale based on the number of people you have. Well, they also have it here. And this is for the 211 program. So benefit, utility, let's see what else. Utility bill with tenant's name and address, benefit award letter for unearned income for any household member, examples of current year social security letter, pension letter, unemployment, cash assistance, etc. Next is the documentation of loss of income due to COVID-19. Example, a letter from your employer regarding furlough, reduction in hours, layoff, paycheck stub, etc. Next is documentation of any other rental assistance programs that you have benefited from and rental agreement contract with tenants' names on it. So they were, of course, pre-screening people for eligibility for LA County's COVID-19 relief program. And yeah, I mean, most of this is pretty self-explanatory. Your first name, last name, phone number, email address, date address, etc. The address within LA County limits, excluding the city of Los Angeles. So that you do need to go ahead and fill out yes and no. They also do have some Q&As on here, so you can go ahead and find out your organizations, resources, information. This is one of those sites that you really, really want to dig around into to go ahead and find out more details. And of course, on 311, you know, it still had some different things in its program to do, but you aren't hearing that much about it. Next is the Eviction Lab. I have shown you this before, but this is really, really cool because they have filters. For example, in the great state of Connecticut, it tells you, here's the great part, initiation of eviction, the court process, tenancy preservation measures, tenancy preservation measures, short-term supports, enforcement of eviction order. So this is going to tell you by state and give you some of the details. Now, of course, I will tell you, don't presume everything is accurate, not because this could be inaccurate, but because you are responsible for the information. And look, if you miss the date, you miss the date. Okay? So let's just get on top of this and ahead of it. So go ahead, view your outline for the state that you're in. You will be ahead of the game. So let's just say you're in Nevada. See, it shows the same thing on here, in the different check marks. So this is great because you can find your state. And then, of course, we do want to include the National Low Income Housing Coalition. This is for state and local rental assistance. Now, if you are reading this and information that's available, don't get it in your head that, oh, this means that you're poor. No, this means that you need help. And more people than ever need help because of the current situation with the coronavirus pandemic. And let's just say, I know a lot of people that they're just trying to process, enjoy the time, get what done is what needs to be done. I know there's so much stuff going on. So state and local rental assistance. And here they have it by map, by table. They have it all over the place. Here's a table. Look at all these rental assistance programs. In your community, go ahead and take a look because there's a lot of communities that are helping people. But as you saw from Los Angeles and as you can see, there is so much information. And wherever you are, for example, if you are at a university, see what the university or college can do to help you. You know, when you're talking to your landlord, first of all, if you've been a great tenant, they don't want you to leave. They want you to stay. So they're willing to work with you. And there's so many more things that are available. Just believe that you are going to find it so you can go ahead and take care of it. Because just like they don't want to kick you out, because if you are paying, you've actually been paying, then they have to go through all this effort to go ahead and find somebody else. See, part of it is there's so much information on there. There's so much you can do because you can get rent relief. Also, take a look at the videos that I have attached and included in the description, because these other videos with this one can really, truly help you, especially if you want rent relief. So there is Much more coming as we discover more, but please do enjoy the video and share it with somebody else that it can help. And while you're at it, if you can give us a thumbs up and like us, make some comments, check out our playlist, and subscribe for the latest updates. And of course, thanks for supporting our channel, The Atlas Post, on Patreon or on Buy Me a Coffee. Tap into your news with The Atlas Post and have a joyful day.